Wide Open. Chapter 1. A Different Glow. The late afternoon sun streamed through the large windows of the cosy cafe, illuminating dust particles dancing in the air. Maya walked in and felt a familiar sense of calm as she saw her friend Layla waiting on the corner sofa. "You made it! I was just about to text you." Layla gestured to the second mug on the table. "Got your usual extra cinnamon?" "You're a lifesaver," Maya sighed, wrapping her hands around the warm ceramic mug. "I've been running around all day. This is exactly what I needed." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, the kind that only exists between friends who know each other's souls. Layla studied Maya. She looked as put together as always, with her blonde hair in a neat bun, yet there was a subtle tension in her shoulders and a restlessness in her eyes. "So," Maya leaned forward slightly, her eyes sparkling, "how was your weekend? Anything interesting happen?" Layla felt a familiar protective caution rise within her. Maya's life with her boyfriend, Mark, was full of shared calendars and quiet nights in. Her own world, meanwhile, was expanding in ways that she wasn't sure Maya would understand. But the excitement in her stomach was impossible to contain. She took a slow sip of her chai. It was really good, actually, different. She met Maya's gaze, a shy smile playing on her lips. "I went to that weekend retreat I told you about, the one about conscious connection, the one with the sharing circles, and it was okay." "It was more than just sharing," said Layla. "We did guided practices to feel the energies in our bodies. It's hard to explain. It felt safe. Like I could just be free, without any constraints." She paused. "I met some really lovely people. There was this one man, Dorian. It wasn't like we were flirting or anything, but we talked for hours and it was just so easy." Maya listened, tilting her head. She could see a new light in Layla's eyes, a relaxed openness that she hadn't seen in her friend for some time. "That sounds nice," she said. "That wouldn't work with Mark. You know how he feels about me spending time with other men. He gets this look." "I know," Layla said softly. "But that's just it. It wasn't about taking anything away from Pascal and me. It felt like adding something." She could feel the conversation teetering on the edge of the big topic, the one she was both nervous and eager to explore with her best friend. She took a steadying breath and decided to jump in. The most powerful part of the retreat were the hugging meditations. You just hold someone. For a long time, no talking, no movement, just breathing together. It sounds simple, but Maya took a slow sip of her chai. A hugging meditation with a stranger? The concept was so far outside her experience that it almost sounded like a foreign language. "His name is Dorian," Layla said gently, "and it wasn't strange. It was deep. We just held each other, fully clothed, and breathed through our heart centers. There were rules, a safe word. Everything was clear and consensual. It wasn't just about him. Not really. It was about me rediscovering my own capacity for connection. It was like this warm, golden light just started glowing in my chest. They called it Luma." She saw the flicker of curiosity in Maya's eyes. "But Pascal is okay with this? What was it like when you came home after experiencing a man so closely?" "Pascal and I talked for weeks before I even went," Layla explained. He knows it nourishes a part of me and makes me feel more whole. It's like he's my main, beautiful, home-cooked meal. But sometimes a different flavour tickles the taste buds. And that's not because the home-cooked meal is lacking. When I came home to Pascal, I was more present, more me. And I'm not looking for something from him that I'm missing. Maya shook her head slightly, a wry smile on her lips. Mark is my meal, my snack, and my dessert. The idea of even looking at another menu would make him feel so betrayed. And, to be honest, I'd be terrified. What if I liked it? What if it changed me? She paused, leaning in. And the shaming, Layla. You know what they call women who explore. All this judgment. We're easy, or complicated, or too much, or simply sluts. It's not worth the risk. Layla reached across the table and placed her hand over Maya's. I know, I was terrified too. But when that wave of tingling energy, that pure aliveness, went through me in that circle, no one there looked at me with judgment. They nodded, like, yes, we see you, Layla. Welcome. It was the opposite of shame. It was adoration. She squeezed her friend's hand. The fear of being called a bad word is a cage, Maya. The worst part is that we women are often the ones holding the key, but we're too afraid to look at the lock. Maya was quiet for a long moment, watching the light fade outside the window. The simple, safe narrative of her life suddenly felt a little less solid and more like a choice she had stopped questioning. So, Maya said, this glow, this luma, as you call it, what do you do with it after, when you go home? Layla smiled. You carry it in your heart. It makes everything a little brighter. We had the best sex ever after I told Pascal how Dorian worshipped me simply by holding my body in his lap. Maya's eyes widened. You told him the details? Yes, sure. I told him about the safety, the glow, and how seen and adored I felt. It wasn't a confession. It was a sharing. It made him feel trusted and, I think, a little intrigued. She paused, seeing the whirlwind of questions in Maya's eyes. And before you ask, yes, I'm going to see Dorian again for a walk. Just us. Wow, Maya breathed out, leaning back in her seat. A date? That feels real. And Pascal is actually okay with that? He is, Layla nodded. It's a step. We're figuring it out together. He admitted he's a little scared of what it might bring up for him. Jealousy, insecurity. But he's more scared of me dimming my light to make him comfortable. He sees how alive I am, how much more attention and care I'm giving us, because my own cup is so full. It's an experiment in trust. Maya fell silent, stirring the remains of her chai. The theoretical had just become concrete. It wasn't just about a hugging meditation anymore. It was about getting to know someone and navigating her partner's fears. I can't even imagine having that conversation with Mark, Maya finally said, her voice heavy. Even texting with another man would spark a huge argument. Layla looked into her friend's eyes. Maybe just imagine the feeling first, that glow, what it would be like to feel that without needing anyone's permission. The waitress came by with the bill, breaking the intensity of the moment. They both reached for it, their hands brushing, and they shared a small, familiar smile. As they gathered their coats, Maya looked at her friend, really looked at her. Layla seemed to occupy more space, her energy calm and radiant. "Text me when you get home," Layla said, the habitual end to their meetings. "Always," Maya replied, pulling Layla into a warm, long hug. As Maya walked away from the cafe, she felt that the world looked the same, yet something inside her had shifted subtly. A seed had been planted. Suddenly, there was an open question in her heart. What would it take for me to feel that glow? It was a terrifying question, but also a thrilling one.